What's up, boys and girls? We are back. Gate 7 International on fire. We're fucking pumped. Hope you guys are too. Big win. And of course, that juicy intro always gets us moving. Boys, how we feeling? How we feeling?
You know what they say, Ari? You never forget your first.
You never forget the first. Ike is never going to forget that first one, too. Sinigamas, boys. This is something that we can all cheers to today. We've got our drinks here. Costa's got is that a lovely chai, Costa?
Yep. I'm on ibuprofen. Can't drink alcohol. Anyway. But you know, whatever happens in these playoffs, which we'll get to, they will always remember who popped their cherry in Hagia Sophia. They will never forget. You never forget your first, ladies and gents.
No, you don't. Costa, what are you drinking over there, buddy? I didn't see the can.
I'm having some lovely beer to celebrate this event. Finally, Olympiakos win a derby. I'm telling you, I was working all day, and I just couldn't find any time to see. When was the last time Olympiakos didn't win a single derby during a normal period? And I wanted to see if that happened during the Petrina Chronia. Was there a time when Olympiakos didn't win a single derby in the Petrina Chronia? Thankfully, that research wasn't needed. And well, I mean, headline. What's the headline? Olympiakos are back. This is it, boys. That's exactly what Olympiakos needed. And I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago if Olympiakos had beaten Panathinaikos. I wouldn't have said Olympiakos are back. But now, beating the best team in Greece, destroying their undefeated streak at home in their new stadium, guys, this is a new game. The game has changed. I wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago if we had beaten Panathinaikos. I'm saying it now. The game has changed.
That it has. And boys, my drink of choice today is a good old. This is mead for those of you that are not aware. This is a honey wine, and it's got blueberries and whatever black currant is. It tastes fantastic. So that's what I'm drinking in celebration for today. And it is a good day, worthy of celebration and a nice beer or drink, whatever you may have in front of you. So before we get the discussion moving, guys, there's a ton of you in here already. So many of you, the chat was popping before we even got started. So don't forget to like and subscribe really quick. You've got about 30 seconds before we start getting into the content, and help us grow the red and white community. Every like, every engagement you guys have helps us with the algorithm. It helps us find more people. And the more people we get, the bigger the community gets, the more fun stuff we can do. Now, a couple of short messages from our sponsors. Don't forget, guys, if you're shipping anything in and out of Greece, from the United States, England, it could be Australia, whatever. You got anything you got to ship in and out of the US to Greece, all over the world, check out our friends, www.piraeusintl.com. Give them a call, 410-675-4696, and let them help you. BetUS, boys and girls, the cards came back this week. We are bringing those back for Champions League at the very least. That's really all I have time for to do. If you guys want the betting cards, maybe later on in Europa League, I'll get those out. But for now, it's just Champions League. Use our promo code GATE7INTL. That's GATE7INTL in all caps at betus.com.pa, and get a 125% deposit boost when you set up your account and do your first deposit. It's a great match that they do for the deposit, and they also have great odds. I think one of the odds that we just put up was 13 Costa, compared to, it was Bet365 had the same odds at 5.0. So great payout, great odds. They're very aggressive trying to get people in. So check it out. You might like it, and check out our betting cards as well. All right, boys. Let's get into it. Who wants to go first, baby? I'm excited. I'm happy. The memes have been passed out. You guys have seen them. But there was a lot of...
Hey, which memes? I haven't seen anything. Wait, memes.
That's right. You don't pay attention to the group chat half the time. Costa had
Hey, I was working. I finished working like 46 minutes ago. I was working all night, buddy.
It's all right. That's fine.
I'll look at them right now.
Look at the memes. They're hilarious. But before we actually address the post-match talk, there was a lot of gripe when the lineup came out. We had put out a statistic comparing Ramon in his time here so far and Oleg Rebchuk. We had a very nice radar plot. We can do those now. So new little thing in the toolkit. Hope you guys like it. You'll see more of it. I'm going to clean it up a little bit too, so it looks a little bit better. Some of you guys had questions about it, but we had a nice little radar chart, and you can check it out on socials comparing Oleg and Ramon, and the difference between the two is absolutely clear. I mean, Oleg had him in both ground duels and aerial duels, but Ramon had him in just about everything else, everything offensive. I assumed we were going to see him today, even though I wanted Ramon to start, but he went with it. He went with Rebchuk. It upset a lot of people, but look, guys, in the end, it worked out. They were really targeting his side. All the attacks were going down that side. It was incredible. But Oleg held it. I think he only got dribbled by one time that I can think of all game. So he didn't do half bad, despite the fact that everybody was fuming when they saw that he was starting. What did you guys think of the starting lineup, and how'd you see the game? Costa, see you go first.
Right, to be honest with you, man, I didn't watch the first half. I didn't get home in time, but I was just following from your commentary, and I'll approach it a different way. Like 73% possession for AEK is what I read at the end of the first half, and that says a lot about how passive we were, and it just looked like one of those games where they were in control and we'd try and go for the counter attack and see what we do, see if we find an opening. And in the lead up to this game, going into it, I said a couple of things, to you guys. We were chatting all week. Obviously, I said that to win this game, we need to have 1, luck, 2, balls, like aggression, sacrifice, that team spirit that the basketball team shows us week in, week out. Every man, supporting everyone else, like team. And the way the game unlocked, it was, a lucky goal, to be fair. Biel gets the ball on the right-hand side, cuts in. He does that thing he likes to do to get the ball onto his left foot. He takes a pop, it takes a deflection, 1-0. Yeah, that changes the game. And that's exactly what Olympiakos haven't had in any big game this season. Had that, that little bit of luck, that little deflection, that's something to give them a little boost. Yeah, and it happened today. 1-0 up, and then 3 minutes later, Samaseku makes a nice steal outside the box. The ball drops to Fortounis, and Fortounis plays it over the top. Beautiful ball into Bakambu, who lays it out in front of him and then slots it calmly into the bottom corner with his left foot. It's fantastic. 2-0 within the space of 4 minutes. And you're just, AEK love to press high up the pitch, so they're going to leave more spaces, and they did. And then the third one came easy. So, yeah, it wasn't, it wasn't a dazzling Olympiakos performance, like a dominant performance or anything like that. The best way I can describe the win was a real smash and grab. And I don't really care how we did it tonight. Like, it was just important to do it. And that's what's happened. And if we lost the game, they'd be 9 points clear. And if we win it, 3 points difference. So it was so vital. And I think you saw it in the reactions on the bench, like particularly after the second goal. And then at the end, the reactions of both the Olympiakos players and the AEK players on the other hand as well. Like, Levi Garcia standing completely dejected at the end of the game. They've lost 3-1, their first loss at home. We've been joking about it since the start of the show. So it's massive. It's massive for confidence. And yeah, you just hope that that's the win that we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for it 7 months. We've been waiting for effing derby win for 7 months this season. It's come at the last game of the regular season, just before the playoffs start. And oh my God, we've been saying it again and again and again. It's going to be the most exciting end to a Greek Super League in more than 2 decades. And okay, we can talk about other stuff, referees. Even the referees couldn't help them today. even the referees
Yes,
couldn't help
even
them
the
today.
referees, exactly.
I thought on the first goal, I was going to try and find and see if Mukudi was offside. I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, no, I can't do that. So no, even the refs couldn't help them today. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts on the game.
Yep. Well, real quick, Costa K, before I get your opinion on this, Mono G7, if Adi keeps his promise, if we win this title, I will have my hair cut like Paskalakis. Well, listen, I promised you guys.
Your promise.
If I keep my promise, yes. So I did say if we even got into second place by season's end, OnlyFans, the one time OnlyFans was happening, I'll keep it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll figure that out.
Yeah, but I mean, getting an OnlyFans, it sounds like a pain in the ass, though. Getting an OnlyFans just for this one time.
Who knows?
I don't even know how that works. I don't even know how that works.
I don't know, man. Well, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Could we
But
make
real
any
quick,
money? Could we make any money out of this?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't know how that stuff works.
Okay,
I have
we'll have
absolutely no
we'll
idea.
have a look.
We'll have a look. You know, if it ends up happening. But I wanted to pat our backs also because we did bring up right before the game yesterday with a threat chart graphic that we put out there. We were looking for where AEK was vulnerable for all the games that they have played. Look at my eyes, DC. Come on, bro. In the middle of my train of thought, man.
Dude, that's the easiest money you will ever make. That's the easiest money you'll ever make. Take it.
I will pay for Adi's feet picks. All right, buddy. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so we had put this threat chart looking at all the people that I had played in the Hagia Sophia, where the most dangerous opportunities came from, to see if we could identify what the weaknesses were against AEK in Hagia Sophia. And there weren't many, but we did find one. And in that graphic, we had specifically pointed out that attacks that came up the middle in the run of play, that was the weakness. That was the only time that we saw AEK see consistent danger. Outlaw George, I think OnlyFans will pay Adi to stop posting on OnlyFans instead of posting. That's probably the case, man.
I take that bet again.
But we did point out where the weaknesses were up the middle, and that ball from Kostas Fortounis was pretty much the exact context we were talking about with regards to AEK's weaknesses there. So just wanted to pat ourselves on the back there. Once again, data coming through, Gate 7 International Analysis, deep underway, pointing things out. You got to love it. Costa K, tell us your thoughts on the match. What did you think of the lineup? What did you think of the match? First impressions.
Well, I mean, the lineup as well. Let's say what the lineup was. Mitchell started with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Alexandros Paschalakis in goal. Rodinei at right back. Oleg Reabchuk at left back. Usain Nuba and Andreas Dois linked up at centre back. Kwanginbom and Diadiet Samaseku teamed up in midfield with Kostas Fortounis at number 10. Pep Biel on the right, because that's what it is this season. Sergi Canos on the other side. Cedric Bakambu leading the attack. Well, I thought this was a usual lineup, the kind of lineup that we could have, everyone could have predicted. Obviously, not happy with Reabchuk's performances for years now. I feel like Ramon has been more impressive. I remember when Costa and I were at Karaiskaki, at some point he said during the live commentary, I think Ramon has already had more touches than Reabchuk after he came on as a substitute. And he was right, actually, by the way. Obviously, I'm pissed off with Pep Biel having to be a winger this season, even though it's obvious he's not a goddamn winger. I would have preferred to have seen James starting instead of Fortounis or Pep Biel playing in the number 10 spot. But at the end of the day, you know what? It all worked. Like Costa absolutely correctly pointed out, the universe owed Olympiacos in derbies, because remember, Olympiacos have had 2 or was it 3 goals chalked off for offside during derbies by other players who were offside, not the scorer, other players who were offside and intervened with the whole situation. So yes, Olympiacos absolutely needed that piece of luck. And by God, this is huge right now. Olympiakos were not the better team. AEK had 73% of possession, which in my opinion is unacceptable. Anytime you play AEK, that's unacceptable. But you know what? At the end of the day, it worked. Olympiakos finally, as Costa mentioned, showed balls, which is something I hadn't seen before the Panathinaikos game. The reason why I left Karaiskakis so bummed out is because this was the first time I saw Olympiakos deserving a derby win, and they didn't get it. But this time, you know what? I'm not too sure still if Olympiakos were the better team or if AEK were. You know what? It doesn't matter because Olympiakos deserved it. And we're gonna get into depth into this because Olympiakos also beat the refs today. That was one of the worst referee performances I have ever seen. And I told that to Aris before the show. We are gonna see a real shit show in the playoffs. In my opinion, Panathinaikos are winning the title because no one's gonna allow them not to lose the title. And we're going to see a lot of penalties for Panathinaikos, who won another penalty tonight at Atromitos. And we're going to see a bunch of red cards going Panathinaikos' way. It's going to be a shit show. I expect some really poor referee performances, especially against Olympiakos. We've already seen them. And what Olympiakos did today was the ballsiest performance all season because they beat the best team in Greece at home. They gave them their first loss at Opapa Arena. And they also beat the referees. Even the referees can help AEK today.
Yeah, the referee performance was. We don't like to talk about refs on the game, but today it's very difficult not to bring up the referee performance. I mean, I don't know where to begin. The fact that there were 2 penalties we could have had in the first half that I believe should have been given. Pep Biel, I deserved that second yellow. Whether or not the first yellow should have been a yellow for him mouthing off, that's another story. But
how many players mouthed off to the referee tonight?
But again,
how many of them? Pep Biel got it just
everybody.
like that. Just
Yeah,
like that.
Everybody. But the issue I had was, how can you sit there and tell me Amrabat did not deserve a second yellow when he shoves Oleg after the whistle has been blown? I mean, and it wasn't just blown; it was some time, and he just goes and shoves them.
It was right in front of the fourth official,
right
as well.
right in front of the fourth official. Should have been a second yellow right there. The yellow that went to Vida for kneeing El Arabi in the head. That is any shot to the head. I mean, that's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. It's I mean, it was really poor. This ref did not have his wits about him, unfortunately. There was a lot of stuff, I think, that
Ari, sorry to interrupt you, but which penalties are you talking about? Because there was that incident which was an absolute penalty because Rota pumped the ball away, and then it looked like Hatzisafi fouled
Bakambu.
Rota's hand was
Rota's hand. Rota's hand is what I'm talking about. Those were and that was just in the first half. Imagine.
You're not talking about that incident where Mukundi apparently fouled Ganos. That was outside the box, but VAR should have intervened because that could have been a red card if that was a foul.
Correct. I didn't even get to that point yet. I haven't even gotten to that foul. I was just talking about because I will say at the very least, like I can understand that, if the ref didn't believe that was a red card foul because it was outside of the box, he wouldn't go to VAR. Fine. I can even buy that one. That's if I'm giving him credit, right? But those other two, I mean, ridiculous. And the thing with Amrabat, when Pep Biel slides in and hits, was that Pineda he hit on the slide tackle where he got the second yellow? That, he was very quick with that, and that was the correct decision. Mark, regardless of the fact that maybe Pep Biel didn't deserve the first yellow, that second yellow he deserved, and the red was deserved. He knew he messed up too. Pep Biel knew he messed that up, but where was the consistency with everything else? The fact that Amrabat left that game without a second yellow, absurd, absolutely absurd. Anyway, I'm just bringing up the ref.
What are you on about, DR? What are you on about, DR? The ball did hit Rota's hand. It was a better block than Giannis Antetokounmpo. Are you kidding me? Of course he. Which head is that? Is that a head, guys? Since when is that a head? I've heard about two heads in the human anatomy in guys. Not
the comment that Costa's referring to from DR here says, guys, Rota didn't handle the ball. Watch the replays; it hit his head. But after perhaps there was a penalty on Bakambu, I am not super convinced. But in any case, the ref was ridiculous today.
Guys, head, hands.
Johnny Tabuka. Why
because
is
we're
Labro
smart.
Olio?
Because we're smart with the ratings. Because we're
He's
smart.
enjoying. He's in Hawaii. Here's a nice picture Costa just posted. He's in Hawaii on vacation.
He
So,
says, just like old times, 3-1 que Calimera. That's Labro Sirmos from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Good man. Good man.
What a view. What a view.
Wish we were there. Wish we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I actually posted what's it called, a poll on Twitter. And I was like, where would you rather be right now, in Honolulu with like Labro Sirmos, or at Reddy celebrating right now?
There you go.
It's going
Absolutely.
off. It's
I'd
going
still rather
off
be in
Reddy.
Hawaii.
Honestly, man, I would love to be at it right now celebrating. That would be something else. I saw some videos people were taking and sharing. It looked crazy.
Yeah, it's
It
insane,
looked
guys.
absolutely crazy. But anyway, moving on from the refs, because we don't like to spend a lot of time talking about it.
It wasn't his head, it was his hand. I watched the replays again and again. It was his goddamn hand. It wasn't his head. It wasn't even his other head. It was his head. It was the arm.
Can I also give a shout out to Gus Drax, who says, please someone inform Almeida Mitchell has his diploma and wallet. And now that I'm thinking about it, his underwear too. Big up Gus Drax. If you've heard our new intro music, that is made by the one and only Gus Drax, the man in question here,
Gus.
Man of the Hour. Thank you
so
much,
Gus. It's
big
amazing.
Up. Amazing
Thank you so
professional,
much.
Amazing guy, amazing intro. Thank you so much again. Big up to Gus Drax.
For sure. It's incredible stuff. Gets me juiced every time I listen to it.
Just a very quick response, though. I'm pretty sure that Mitchell and Almeida hugged at the end of the match. So, I mean,
they probably, I swear those two might have actually played against each other too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
That was a nice touch, though. If it did happen, that's a lovely touch. And good, good for both of them.
They did.
Both of them.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah. Almeida's a reasonable guy. It's not Lucescu here. You know what I mean? He's a pretty reasonable guy. But I wanted to shift our focus now that we got Costa K all riled up about the refs. I wanted to real quick, before we get into some of the individual performances, talk about the game plan, because both of you guys kind of brought up a little bit when you were summarizing your thoughts on the game about how you didn't care what the context was. We got the game, but, Costa, you brought up the 73% possession for AEK. I think it was 72 overall for the whole game. And then Costa K, you talked about kind of like the lack of a game plan, still something to worry about. And we got the win today against AEK, despite all of the nonsense that went on, despite everything else. But is the game plan still a concern? Should we be feeling better about the next game coming up against AEK? Because we have another Kipelo game coming up against them, and then of course the playoffs, we're gonna have to play them 2 more times. We're gonna have the other derby matches now for the playoffs as well. Are we still concerned about the game plan moving into the playoffs, or are we happy because we won and we're expecting that we can still pull these wins off, despite the fact maybe that AEK in possession was probably the better team? How do you guys feel about that? Are you both concerned about the game plan and how we approach these derbies going into the playoffs? This time, Costa K, you start.
I am very concerned. I was telling you guys before the match, or during the first half, before Pep Biel's goal, Mitchell is not a tactician. This really, really worries me. That it's obvious that when it comes to the games, I see more of the players doing the talking on the pitch. You see a lot of personalities, people like Juan Guinbom, like Cedric Bakambu, like Costas Fortounis, like Pep Biel, like James Rodriguez, like Sergi Canos with immense English experience. It seems like, yes, Mitchell puts together the lineup. Yes, he has a few ideas, but he's not the kind of guy who's going to float. He's not the kind of guy who's going to adapt with the situation. He's not the kind of guy who's going to tear the script apart and rewrite the whole thing and say, okay, now we're doing this. Oh, no, now we're going to do that. It sucks to say this, but even if Olympiakos do manage to win the title, Mitchell should, and under no under no terms and conditions stay as manager. I am really worried because throughout the entire season, that's something I've constantly noticed: the absence of a game plan. There's no game plan at Olympiakos, no tactics. And the first game, well, some people already said it, but let's hope to God Olympiakos get Volos or Aris, worst case scenario, because there's going to be no Huangenbaum, no Jan Villa, probably no Jan Villa, and definitely no Pepiel. Those are huge absences. So if it's a derby, especially away, again in Tuba maybe, or even Hagia Sophia, you want to avoid that. But generally speaking, I think that most of the good performances this season came because of the players rather than the manager. Look at Mitchell's other teams after he left Olympiakos. He didn't succeed anywhere. And now we're seeing it at a bad season at Olympiakos that he's not the answer. So, yeah, I am very concerned.
Costa C. And actually, really quick. Here, I'll let you address
before I get into it, I have to answer the standard question we get every single show, which is a fair question. So, in Americani, in Americi, do I have an American accent?
No.
I'm just
English is English, though, baby.
I'm just fucking with people. But okay, this is Gate 7 International, your number one English source for all things Olympiakos, by the fans, for the fans. We're a bunch of guys. No girls yet, but we would like to get a girl host, wouldn't we? As well, that'd be fantastic if there's anyone out there. Yeah, guys, this is an effort to bring together Olympiakos fans from all corners of the world to keep growing the community. We are a predominantly Greek club, but there are Greeks abroad. Some Olympiakos that aren't even Greek, a lot of whom actually follow this show week in, week out, from Denmark, from Australia, from France. One of our co-hosts is French. He's not even Greek. So yeah, join the community. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for getting involved in the chat. We do speak Greek as well. So if you want to write in the chat in Greek, that's perfectly fine. Tell your friends about us, like and subscribe. Shameless plug right there for me, given the opportunity once more. And I see that we've received a donation from Irako. Thank you very much for the double espresso. Τελικά θα κάνουν έσταση, ξέρουμε. I actually read that those guys are actually going to take the the airport to court over the decision about playing that Atromitos game, even though they won it. Anyway,
they did. They already filed it for CAS.
Yeah. So anyway, we did our business today, and to go to your question, Ari, am I concerned about the game plan? One of the players texted us. I text congratulations, and I won't say who it was, but he says, thanks. Sometimes we don't need to play well, but we just need to win. Let's keep fighting until the end. And that pretty much says, if it doesn't say everything, it says a lot, because it's very hard at this point in the season to want from Olympiakos to play with a certain style, swagger, identity.
Right.
You know, there are some games this season that, you know, we've gone out and won 5-0, 6-0, and we've dominated possession and we've created lots of chances. And then in a game like today, you needed us to do exactly what we did today, which is to create 2-3 opportunities and score 2-3 goals. It's exactly what we did today. And, you know, I don't know if it was Mitchell's game plan to set up the team like that, behind the ball, wait for the spaces, because he, like, we know that AEK loves to press up the field. They're probably the best team in the Greek Super League at pressing opponents high up the field. They have like athletic players both in midfield and up front that can press, whether it's Levi Garcia, Sergio Araujo, Gacinovic in midfield. We know that they can do that. That's what they're good at doing. But if you do that, you leave spaces in behind. And that's exactly where we exploited them in the second half. Their manager even mentioned it at the end, at half time. The discussion was, be wary the counter-attack. That's exactly how they ate it. Now, am I concerned? What I like actually about today's lineup is that, contrary to what we were hearing during the week, Sergi Canos started the game. And Sergi Canos, for me, in the space of, you know, a month now, he has established himself as a starter in this team, as an irreplaceable, actually. So, he got another one today. What is that? 4-5 goals now that he's got?
4 goals, 2 assists in 6 Super League matches.
So
I thought he had 3 assists.
We were hearing things this week like Masouras might start the game. It's like, what? It was to me, it was completely unfathomable that Sergi Canos wouldn't start the game. He has the instinct. He's in the right place at the right time. He plays with aggression. He's really a player that we were missing, I think, in the first half of the season. It's been a great pickup during the January transfer window.
And sorry to interrupt you, Kostas, but he not only is he impressive at Olympiakos, this is happening after he lost his mother.
Yeah. Very important to bring that up.
Says a lot about the player, his character, his commitment. Like, I mean, what can you say? Like, and he's showing up week in, week out. Yeah, he had a poor performance against Panathinaikos. We saw how he bounced back from that. And today the goal was calmly collected and just slotted past the keeper like it was nothing. It was a beautiful goal, the third one, actually, like the ball from Fortounis into Bakambu, and then the control with the knee and just the deft finish into the bottom corner. But Ari, for me, like this question on game plan, we can't expect miracles. Like, I do think that AEK is the best unit. Like, that's what Almeida's managed to do at AEK. He's managed to build a unit that plays well together. They have a style of play. We don't have that. We're a team right now, I think, that adapts to each game in terms of, what are the needs of the game. We're going to try and play in this way or that way, depending. Are we playing at home? Are we playing away? So my worry is always that, we take this big win and we don't capitalize on it. Like, we have to keep going. Like that win should really galvanize the players to go into the playoffs with confidence and belief that they can be a good team. They can be a good team. It was nice again to see the dressing room. Like some of the Instagram stories, Valbuena put up a story. They're all huddled together. They're all jumping at each other. They're enjoying themselves. It's taken this long to get there. But now they need to keep going. They need to keep going. They need to keep going out every week, every weekend, and winning those games. That's what's the most important thing. We can talk about the left back position if we're getting really picky. Again, I didn't watch the first half, so I can't have a full picture on how Rebchuk played today. But I think we were saying before we started today, Oleg had how many completed passes? Did you say?
He only completed 3 all game.
3.
Not that. Look, to preface that, I do want to preface that because the team as a whole. I am willing to bet $100 that when I get the stats tomorrow from Y Scout, that the team as a whole will have completed less than 100. So a lot of people, you probably, even Kostas Fortounis, I think, only completed maybe a dozen, if that. So, but that being said, it was not for a lack of seeing the ball, I should say. He had the worst pass accuracy on the field today. Only completed 3 of his passes. I think in the end, they said something about 28% was his pass accuracy for the day. No, and nobody on the defense was stellar. So it was.
We were lucky at the end. We were lucky at the end. Well, lucky. Pascalakis makes a great save. I think it was at 3. Was it at 3-1 or 3-0?
3-1.
It was at 3-0.
Yeah.
Was it? I think.
Oh no, you're right. You're right.
Are you talking about Pineda? Are you talking about the Pineda header?
It was the header, like the
header,
close range header that he palmed out, and then they got the goal from big up Duranto. Thank you very much. Sorry about Tottenham yesterday. but not sorry. As you know, I'm a Tottenham fan. But anyway,
We know, Costa. We know. God damn it.
what was I saying? Yeah, Pascalakis makes a big save, and then that header from Mukudi, like back at
Yes, that was Mukudi,
Doi and Bar were in no man's land. Like that
Yeah.
was a let off. That was a let off. It was free.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Socrates comes back into this team?
I think he does. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I do.
Socrates Bar.
So yeah, I do, because and here's why. Because Socrates is one of the best aerial winners in the league. I don't know if you guys saw the post. Number 2, the only person ahead of him is Ingasson. So say what you want about Socrates. He's old. Maybe he's not quick. He does have experience. And the players, different players have all said and talked about how he's helped them, including Doran Leidner. All of these players have talked about. So for me, yeah. And also the fact that we don't look good when the ball gets crossed in. I'm still not super confident. But so you have to have a guy like Socrates who is winning 74% of those aerial duels when he's involved. So I think you have to have him. Ba, he kept it together today. But in the first half, you could see Ba's frustration, and he got a stupid yellow again today. So at the same time, I'm also, Doi, a lot of people were saying Doi was terrible today. We've talked about the Doi and the value proposition he offers right now to the team. But remember, guys, Doi is a young kid that is playing there and has been playing there out of necessity. He is a midfielder. He is not a center back. So maybe as we're looking in the coming weeks, and we'll bring this up later on, Costa, we talked about it with injuries and the absences in the midfield. Maybe we see Doi pushed up in the midfield for the next game. But or Adrutsos, who knows? But the whole point is here.
That'd be cool. It's going to be Kasami, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Kasamaseku.
If it were, I mean, I guess most people would want to see maybe Socrates and Ba. But I thought Socrates and Doi wasn't a bad pair. I thought that they were doing pretty well together. So I wouldn't be upset to see that either. I know people didn't like DR, some love for Fortounis as well. You want some love for Costa, my friend. You don't have to tell me twice. You don't have to pull my arm for that. Costa Fortounis. Let's give him the love, man. Let's give him the love this guy deserves. Beautiful assist today. In the exact context we said AEK was weak in. Gets the ball after Samaseku wins it. Plays a gorgeous ball. Gorgeous to Bakambu. And don't forget, in the third goal that Sergio Cano scores, he's the one that brings the ball down the right side. Defender gets drawn in. Or I guess it technically was a midfielder. He gets players drawn into him, plays a lovely ball. Again, pinpoint right to Bakambu. And then Bakambu plays it over to Canos, lays it off for him for the guy to get to actually score the goal. But Costas Fortounis was in the middle of that. Again, I mean, things were tough. He also was coming back and winning the ball, guys. He went in for actual tackles 3-4 times today. Intercepted the ball a couple times. He was running, chasing people down, doing things that, of course, people will always say Costas Fortounis doesn't do. What do you want me to say? I love the guy. I do. Costas Fortounis, I love the position he plays. He plays a position that is being kind of slowly phased out of the game in general. And we need him. A lot of people maybe don't think that we need him, don't want to see him anymore. A lot of people are ready to move on from the Fortounis era. He has too much, in my opinion, to offer this club still for us to let him go. And we do have one more year on his contract after they restructured his deal. But Iker is favorite Pelates. Doesn't matter how good they are. He showed that today. And I think that in the future, he is going to be an important part of this team and have an important role to play during the course of the playoffs. How do you guys see that? Costa, see you start, buddy.
I think, the long-time watchers and listeners of the show, you guys know my views on Fortounis. What I can add to this conversation is I think he's I think he's around 50%, 50, maybe 55 in terms of what he's doing on the pitch. Remember, he didn't have a preseason this season. Yeah? He came in very, very late. Started getting games towards like Christmas, really. He got a run of games, and then all of a sudden he was out again for 4 or 5 games, and then back in, back out, back in more recently. So it's been a tumultuous one for Fortounis and the entire team, by the way. So I think, the important thing is that he stays fit, and we've seen moments from him in the games, and the quality on the pass, like you said to Bakambu, immediately got the ball in front of him. He knew what he was doing, he knew where Bakambu was going, knew where to send it, and he sent it where it needed to go, and we scored the second goal, and that more or less killed the game. Like that was a real stab. That was a real stab win for AEK at that moment in the game. What can I say about Costa? Like you said it perfectly, Ari. It's a position that's dying in football, but he still shows like he can be, how important he can be, particularly in Greece, like in the Super League. He can be a really important player.
Yeah. And I'll read off some stats because everybody loves to hear some stats regarding Costa. In the Super League, Kostas Fortounis has played less than 800 minutes before today. So after today's game, what he got subbed off, it was 70 something. So we'll say we'll say 850 minutes, right? He now has 3 goals, 7 assists, 2 assists, which is the ball that's played before, and he has 2 build-up assists, not to mention he's drawn a penalty as well. So imagine that. This guy's got 11 direct goal contributions in under 850 minutes. That's basically 9 games, 9 full 90s, if you think about it that way. We've talked about data, Fortounis' data, when we compared it to James Rodriguez. And we talked about how James' class continues to show in Greece. I don't know if you guys saw the chart. You can check it on our socials. We have the chart that put everything of James in percentile. So you can see how he compares to everybody else in the wing and attacking mid position. And James was in, for the distribution and goal creation, 80s, 90s for almost everything, except for the behind the ball type stuff. Costa was right up there with him. But guess what? Costa's end product, his goal creation, was way better than James Rodriguez. Think about that, guys. James Rodriguez, we know, is world class. This guy was
world class.
Okay, was world class. We'll say he was world class, but he still has the technique in ball distribution. So for Kostas Fortounis to be, for a guy that's, okay, he played in Germany for Kaiserslautern, I think, but then really hasn't left Greece otherwise. And to see that in the same competition compared to this player, he's, if not as good in many respects, especially in the final third. It's amazing that's a player that has been that is grown by Olympiakos, as a player that's been a part of this Olympiakos family for so long. The guy is an incredible talent, and he can do incredible things. And there's a lot of people, I don't know if it's just a style to hate Fortounis for some people. They either love him or they hate him, but we need him. You need him. Look at what he's done. As much as I think Michel deserves praise for coming in and doing his part to get us back on the right track and help get a mentality into this team, we also have to thank Costa. Costa has come in, and for the last year and a half, whether it was Martins, whether it was whatever was going on, has been on the periphery of Olympiakos for whatever reason. We're not going to get into that, but he's come back.
Go ahead.
Well, he's come back and he's doing a job for us, and he's helping to elevate us. That is the God's honest truth with Kostas Fortounis. Costa, go ahead. What were you saying?
I mean, Kostas Fortounis, I mean, it is a strange case because he has been probably Olympiakos' best player since 2015 when he burst onto the scene. The reason why he never left is, in my opinion, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to leave Greece. He kind of has that Grigoris Yorgatos syndrome. Like, he could definitely play abroad, but I don't think he really wants it because West Ham were ready to make a huge offer for him and sign him before he got injured in the preseason of 2019, and instead they got Fornals.
Yeah.
And now, like, Martins had him as a goner. He wanted to get rid of him. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Those are that's the silver lining of the entire coach drama and general drama that has been existing at Olympiakos. And now we're talking about a player who has amassed 6 assists, 3 goals in 15 Super League matches. That is insane. And I have to say, when it comes to tonight, this, in my opinion, is probably the only derby this season, the only big match this season, where the big names and the big personalities spoke on the pitch. And one of them was Kostas Fortounis. Amazing performance. You mentioned the assist. You mentioned how he created this Kanos' goal with this amazing ball to Bakambu. Bakambu showed great wherewithal to make, because he lost his balance and he still was quick with it. He was thinking fast right there to just immediately offload it to Kanos before he fell down, and that led to the goal. Kostas Fortounis is a strange player because he's amazing on the pitch, but he can't be a leader. He cannot be a leader. He never could be a leader at Olympiakos. He couldn't be a leader in Greece either for the Greek national team. But he is an amazing player. When it comes to Greek players, he's probably the most talented player in Greece. Probably has the most quality out of every Greek player. And he showed it tonight, as did a lot of other big personalities for Olympiakos. Finally.
Good comment here from Efthimis, where he says, I'm not a Fortounis fan, but I prefer him to James because he helps with the front third press and ball recovery. Furthermore, he says his set pieces are way better than James. I get the point about the press, where I don't believe that, you know, Fortounis is known for his prowess, let's say, or his his ability to press high up the pitch, but he certainly does it more than James.
Well, this season he's done it. He's done very well.
He's done it quite well. He has done it quite well. But he does do it. Like, he does do it. James doesn't. Yeah. When James doesn't have the ball, he's like we're playing with 10. Yeah. We know that. And maybe when he has the ball, we're playing with 12. Some might argue. But that's a conundrum going into the playoffs, I guess, because now James Rodriguez is fit. He didn't come on today. If we hadn't have gone down to 10 men, probably would have. But when we're down to 10 men, you saw there's no way you can bring him on, because defensively you're just so frail when he's on the pitch. I'm really curious, actually, to see how he deals with that. If he sticks with Fortounis going forward as the starter, and he starts, Mitchell starts bringing in James Rodriguez as a super sub, like as a 20, 30-minute player, impact player, to come in the second half to pick the opponents apart. And actually, if you think about it, at least from a fitness point of view, that's not a bad way to look at it from a game plan perspective. Like we were talking about game plan earlier. Fortounis is your starter because Biel is not going to be playing at the 10 this season. We've established that. I'm pretty sure, like, going back to this game plan discussion, that's where we have the front four is set now. Bakambu's the number 1 striker, Fortounis is your 10, and Kanos and Biel are your wingers. And then you've got Juan Mbom, and one or the other, Mvila or Samaseku. And that's set now.
Yeah.
Just a very quick little point. What the F, Georgatos and Fortounis are the total opposite personalities. What I was saying is that the Grigoris Georgatos syndrome in Kostas Fortounis is that I don't think Kostas Fortounis wants to play abroad. It's very well known that the reason why Grigoris Georgatos wasn't a big hit at Inter Milan was because he didn't want to be abroad. He was an incredible player. He could have been a legend at Inter or any other big team. Back then, it wasn't common for Greek players to play abroad for big clubs. Grigoris Georgatos just didn't want to play abroad. That's very well known. And Kostas Fortounis, based on what I've seen, he has had opportunities to leave. You had Pep Guardiola on his press conference saying, I was surprised I didn't see Kostas Fortounis at the Etihad, and praised him again on the return fixture in Greece. He doesn't want to play abroad. You're telling me he wouldn't have gone by now if he wanted to play abroad? What stopped him? That's all.
In my own words, the village boy from Kalabaka.
It's one of my favorite things. I love that. But it's true. It's true, man. It's that mentality. You have some people, they're happy. They're comfortable. They want to be home, and that's it.
His wife's a high school teacher too. Like, they had a kid. Like, they're not going anywhere. Even during the summer when they were talking about him possibly going to Turkey, it's like, nah, Fortounis isn't leaving Greece for anything.
Yeah.
He's not leaving Greece for anything. And it's the way it is. Like, some people call him lazy. Some people call him unambitious. Some people say waste the talent. That's what he wants to do with his career. He made good money at Olympiakos. Probably finish his career at Olympiakos, his boyhood club. No, for him, that's fine.
And
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
And I think we're good people to. I mean, we can say this. We know what it takes to migrate to a different country. I mean, I've spent a decade of my life in a different country. Costa, you were born in England. You've moved to Belgium. I mean, it's not for everyone. Moving and living in a different country is not for everyone, boys and girls. If you don't want to do it, then maybe it's a good idea not to do it.
Yeah. You guys are absolutely right. Absolutely.
But I gotta say, guys, and I feel like we need to mention this guy, Alexandros Paschalakis. How good was he tonight?
Don't say it to me. Don't say it to me. I'm done. I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here that was in favor of Paschalakis. Just want to go on record again.
Yes, it's very true. I did not expect. I thought that the Conference League Paschalakis that we saw wasn't the Paschalakis we would see at Olympiakos. I thought we were going to see more like what we saw in Greece, a little bit more inconsistent. Exactly. A great game here and there, and boy, there are times when you are proven wrong and you don't care, because guess what? I love being proven wrong when it's like this. I hate being proven wrong and it's more of a disaster than I thought. That's the worst time.
This one is really my biggest I told you so. This one is my biggest I told you so this season, and I don't want to bloody jinx it. Yeah, but for me, the guy has the mentality to play for this club.
Yeah,
he has the mentality to play for this club. He's not phased. He's not phased by like the everything, like the craziness of Greek football. Like he's calm. Sometimes he's too calm that he makes mistakes. He loses concentration. He's overconfident. But like, look at his body. Like he's so tall. He's so athletic. Not great. He's not great with his feet, but he's gotten better the last couple of years. Very happy. Free transfer. Get Thomas Vachlik the fuck out of there. I'm so glad he's gone. Costa, I know you probably disagree with me, or maybe in retrospect you changed your mind. I don't know.
No, I have not changed my mind, actually.
But for me, nah. Like, some of the games that we dropped points at the beginning of the season because he can't come off his line. Best decision we made. One of the best decisions we made this summer. And we're gonna get to the whole discussion about Gate 7 International Awards. That's coming soon, guys. For me, it's between him and Juan when you talk about best signings this season. But we'll get to that later on. Towards the end of the season, you'll get your chance to vote in the Gate 7 International Awards. We've done it now twice. This season will be the third time that we do it. Watch this space. Keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes open for that. Subscribe if you're tuning in for the first time. We're Gate 7 International, by the fans, for the fans. What else have we got here?
No, but for real though, I mean, we were talking about personalities not coming through during the big games. Paschalakis was one of the very few personalities that would come through during the season before the Panathinaikos game. He has been so consistent huge saves tonight. That Pineda header, the one-on-one against Araujo. I am definitely missing some more. A big save against Vida as well. Incredible. Absolute, by far the best goalkeeper in the league right now. And as for the Vatslik thing, like I said, like if Paschalakis gets injured, Zoulakis comes in and he puts together a bunch of shockers, I won't listen to a word of people calling him names, calling him a fraud, fraudlikis. Not a word. Not a word. I'm mind listening from that.
Well, regarding the comment that was from Outlaw Jorge about Paschalakis being the best goalkeeper in the league stats wise, we put the stats up. I mean, we have the stat card for Paschalakis. I have it in front of me. He was, before this match, he's the goalkeeper with the least goals allowed per 90 minutes, allowing 1 goal in every 3 matches. That's the best in Greece. And he is second in prevented goals per 90. So he's, again, second to Julian Cuesta over at Aris, who he's actually had a pretty good season, all things considered, despite the fact that Aris is not doing well. He has to make a lot more saves, double the amount of saves usually per game than Paschalakis. So there's more volume there. But Paschalakis is second overall in prevented goals per 90. So this is a metric that's measured for when shots are on target, not off target. And when that shot's off target, how often it goes into the goal, which is obviously a much higher XG, much higher value than otherwise. And the fact that he's saving more of those and he's preventing those goals, it's a very good sign. So he's done a very good job. I'm very happy to be proven wrong on that end. It's, it's a very pleasant surprise. Very pleasant surprise for sure.
Can I echo this point here, guys? Over 50 of you, there've been hundreds of you going in and out of the show. Hit the like button, show some love. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps boost the channel to get out to more folks around the world that want to join this community. So if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Do us a small little favor there. And Johnny, our friend from Australia, says I'm being a bit harsh on Vatslik. European pen saves. To be honest with you, mate, were the penalty saves a blessing or a curse? You could ask. Given how we performed in the Europa League, that's a different discussion. But I won't take that away from him. Of course, he brilliant. And
you're playing Panathinaikos twice, and Panathinaikos love to get penalties. They got one tonight. They got another one tonight. Yeah, no. It's
yeah, but
happen.
what do I want, like, him to save a penalty if he can't come off his line to take a cross? Literally, Costa. Like, I swear to God, the beginning of this season, every single team that we played against, I swear to God, every single team that we played against, when Thomas Vatslik was in goal, the instruction from the manager was get the ball to the wings, cross it in as soon as you get an opportunity. It was chaos. Chaos. Every time the ball came in from the wing, let me finish. Every time a ball came in from the wing, keepers on his line, keepers not coming off his line, and then defenders don't know what, like, it was a shit show the beginning of the season. Am I wrong?
No. Like I said, if Paschalakis gets injured and Zoulakis has to play, and he has shocker after shocker in the playoffs, I'm not listening to a word of it. I'm not listening to any. I'm not listening to a word. No, because there's a lot of people who are happy to see Vatslik go. The thing about goalkeepers is that only one can play there. You can't meddle with this thing. There can only be one, and they have to be a goalkeeper. If Zoulakis comes in and has shocker after shocker, I'm not listening to a word of it. Not a word.
Enough. That's fair enough. Guys, we are about an hour in. Did we want to move on to man of the match and coach's grade?
Yes, please.
You got it. Guys, if I believe the poll is still up. Is that correct, Costa?
Yes, it is. So we've got a poll up. We've asked this question many times this season. Can Olympiakos win the title? I said it before Christmas. We're going to be asking this question every single episode. We've seen this go from 90% down to 45 to 50. Every single episode, I swear this changes. So almost a couple of hundred of you have voted in the poll. If you haven't voted in the poll, easy. Again, make yourself part of the channel. Can Olympiacos win the title? 83% of you saying yes, 17% of you saying no. So that's a large majority of you now believing again.
Fantastic. And don't forget, guys, with man of the match, coach's grade, go ahead, drop your man of the match and coach's grade in the chat, and we'll get started with that. Who wants to go first? Who wants to give their man of the match? Costa K, Costa C. Who's excited to do
I'll
man
go
of the match?
first. I'll go
Go
first. I mean, man of the match, there's quite a few to pick from. I mean, there's Cedric Bakambu, there's Kostas Fortounis, but personally, I'm going to go with Alexandros Paschalakis. Huge saves in a very difficult ground. That point in the first half when he stopped Araujo as well, so composed, didn't get a footing wrong. Inspires so much confidence between the sticks. Even after 3-0, there was this sense that, you know what, not a lot of, we still didn't feel totally secure because of that game back in 2016 or 17 when Olympiakos were winning 2-0 at OAK and AEK turned it around. And this is an amazing AEK team we're seeing. Like, if they had gotten a quick goal, made it 3-1, it could have been a different story. Incredible performance by Alexandros Paschalakis. He has to be my man of the match. And when it comes to coach's grade, I'm going to give him an A-, Nitzel, because I still wasn't happy with his changes. Like, bringing on El Arabi after losing Pep Biel when it was obvious now you have to protect the lead. He should have been more defensive, in my opinion. Still, a lack of tactics. It was so evident. The way Olympiakos moved the ball around before Pep Biel, some very, very rash decisions, especially from defense in the beginning of the second half. I remember Olympiakos had the ball at the back and they just immediately threw it like it was a hot potato, and it went to AEK and they put together a dangerous attack. Still a lot of mistakes in defense, and I'm afraid that's going to cost us in the playoffs. We're still seeing a lot of poor defensive mistakes. A- because he picked up the biggest win of the season, the biggest result in Hagia Sophia, but still, we got to see more in the playoffs. It's going to get ugly in the playoffs.
Costa? Man of the match. First of all, we put a new poll up, guys. So for those of you that are live right now, there's a poll up. Vote your man of the match. You got your choices there: Fortounis, Bakambu, Canos, other. I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna vote a bit uncharacteristically tonight. I'm voting Cedric Bakambu, my man of the match today. Goal, assist. I think the goals, I mean, the pass is half the goal, but the way that he takes it and puts the ball in front of him, outpaces the defender, and then just like finishes with his left the way he did. It was like brilliant finish. And then the assist for Canos's goal as well. He seemed a bit off balance, and Canos has done well to control it and finish it. But yeah, like I think I don't think I've ever given man of the match to a striker this season. So
not this season. Not this season, that's for sure.
So I'm going to give it to him tonight. And you know what? Like, I don't know if Cedric Bakambu is going to be here next season, but he's certainly done a job since he's come over from Marseille. And I think for sure there are going to be clubs interested in him in the summer as well. If he wants to go back to France or another league, like I think there'll definitely be interest for this player this summer. So he's done well. He's established himself as the number one striker. I think Costa, you just made a point about El Arabi. I think El Arabi is for the games against Apollon and Lamia and those. Sorry, those kinds of games, like not these big games that we need to play. These these playoff games that are coming up. Maybe like 10-15 minute cameos at the end. That's it. Yeah, I think a lot of us agree about El Arabi. Coaches' grades. But I think I give Micho a B- on the night. We got the win, so hard to give him a C. No, I think I can't be too harsh on him tonight. As I said earlier, I'm glad Canos started the game. because we were hearing that Masouras and Oleg might partner up on the left, which I was really dreading. Glad I didn't see that. And he lives to fight another day. There's been some chat today about will he be the manager next season? He has a 2-year contract. I'm still not convinced. I think the only way he does stay as Olympiakos manager next season is if he wins the league. Can he do it? We'll have to see.
Who knows? Maybe he does. We'll see what happens. At the very least, the win today gave us a little bit of a positive boost. So we feel better at the very least. Maybe that's brief, maybe it's not. Regarding my man of the match and coach's grade, my man of the match, Costa, I'm also going to go outside of mainly what people expect, especially since I just gave such a glowing recommendation of Kostas Fortounis today. I'm also going to do Bakambu, and the reason being, my reason for Cedric Bakambu, not just the fact that he had a golden assist, but we've kind of dogged him a lot this year. Yeah, he hasn't really scored in big games. There's a lot of games where he gets a lot of opportunities and he fumbles a lot of them. Sometimes he'll score a difficult one, but he'll miss the easy ones. And today we didn't have an endless number of opportunities. We had a handful of really big ones, and he finished them today as we would expect him to. So I want to give him credit for that. So I want to recognize that he did a great job today. Even had some involvement before the own goal as well. So I do want to recognize that. Big shout, of course, to Kostas Fortounis, because I still think he had a very big role. If Bakambu was man of the match, then Kostas Fortounis was like a very, very close second for me. Sergi Canos, of course, the guy's on fire. I love players like him. I told you guys you would like him. If he brought the passion that we expect, that people were telling us about, that you could see that David Fuster-esque passion, we would love him, and we are. And the fact that he's doing all of this, of course, with the fact that he lost his mother to get started, like a couple days into the transfer here, and that happened. That's crazy. And it just gives you an idea of this guy's mentality. He's a rock. Shout to Paskalakis as well. The guy I thought had a great game. So those are my shouts. That's my man of the match. Coach's grade. The decision, the decision making, like bringing El Arabi on. I mean, I get maybe that we had to, but El Arabi has just been tough. I've been very back and forth about my feelings with Youssef El Arabi. I would have almost rather he just brought on another defensive player at that point. The goal that I got came directly from El Arabi holding the ball way too long and giving it up. If you guys remember, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan. I'm still going to give him a B+. If we're looking at the underlying data, the underlying game flow, AEK had us bested in the respect of the game being played. We were getting outpossessed. They were dictating the pace of play. If not for a goal that was more so against the run of play, then I don't think that
This is the funny comment. All right.
Let me guess. None of you have played striker. I was a 10. I was a 10 and an 8 when I played.
I was a centre mid. So we've both got midfield bias here.
We do. I'm very open about that. I have 100% midfield bias. But yeah, I mean,
yes.
Oh, thank you so much, DR, for the donation.
Thank you so much,
really
man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for your hard work and for the best analysis in Greek soccer bar none. Guys, we really appreciate that. Keep going. We will, and it's because of you guys that we keep going. I mean, if you like the stats, please check out our socials. We're leveling up in the stat department. In case you guys haven't seen, we're doing a lot of cool stuff now. Huge shout out to Patrick Kasky for teaching me how to do some of that stuff, guys. Those radar plots, if you like them, just treasure that, because this is it's really, really stupid how long it took me to do this. But now I have the template, I kind of know what I'm doing, but this took forever. But it gives you kind of a better visual of how player comparisons are and like who's better at what and what things. The polygons that you see, this is percentile. So this is how these players stack up in Greece compared to all other players in the fullback positions. So as you can see here, Ramon, all of these offensive things, dribbles, passes to penalty area, final third, progressive passes. He is in the 90th percentile, 80th, 90th percentile in like all of these respects, versus Oleg, as you can see, is not. Now I'm going to find out better ways to visualize this so you guys can kind of see like more specifically, like, is he below 50, higher 50? I have to learn how to do that still, but this is pretty clear enough to where you get the idea. Oleg is better at some of those aerial duels, ground duels types of things. But Aries Galamatis, next time radial grid, not Cartesian. What I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I have to. The problem is in Tableau, I don't know. I didn't yet know how to like make a radial grid, if that makes sense. But I've been taught now. Someone kind of explained to me how to do it, so I might have that for you next time. So hopefully you guys like that. And hopefully I get better at those moving forward. And then before we close up, should we get a quick look at the table?
Let's have a look.
Here it is. So Panathinaikos back at the top of the table with 61 points. AEK second with 59 points. Olympiakos stay third, 56 points, and PAOK on 54 points. The top six are set, so that means we have Panathinaikos, AEK, Olympiakos, PAOK, Aris, and Volos going to be fighting it out in the playoffs, and we are now 3 points behind AEK and 4 points off the top.
And 2 points ahead of PAOK. That's important.
2 points ahead of PAOK, yes. So, I mean, I think that's one of the most exciting league tables that you'll see in Europe right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
This can go anyway. This can really go anyway, guys. But I gotta say, like, I have to apologize to every single AEK fan that's probably listening right now. Tonight, there's none of them listening, but if anyone ever listened to us, I have to apologize because for very long I'd been saying that AEK are going to win the title. Guys, I really think Panathinaikos are going to win it. They're not going to let them not win it. They get really good calls. They don't miss a thing with Panathinaikos. If that was Panathinaikos playing against AEK, there's no way they wouldn't have left Paparina without a pen. No chance. Or a red card for AEK. No chance. Not a chance. No, do you disagree?
No, I don't.
Referees have been perfect with Panathinaikos. They don't miss a thing with Panathinaikos. We're going to see penalties. We're going to see red cards. I'm telling you, Panathinaikos are winning this.
There's no way we're not getting a big win against Panathinaikos. I swear. By the end of this season, I swear.
Oh, we got to get one. It's due.
There's no way. Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. That's all I have to say. Like after the game that Costa and I attended, the 0-0 with the offside goal. My God.
For sure.
I gotta say, though, Steven Zuber ruined something for me tonight. Because for days I had been asking you guys on WhatsApp, do you think Olympiakos can pull off a Liverpool? If before the Liverpool match I told you Liverpool are going to beat United 7-0, you'd all think I'm an idiot. And I was thinking, could Olympiakos go to Paparina and pull a Liverpool? If Steven Zuber hadn't scored that goal, I could have gotten away to say this. Because 3-0 at your own turf, 3-1 is nicer. 3-0 though, that's heavy.
As long as it's not a Liverpool in a sense that they won 7-0 and then lost to Bournemouth 1-0 the next game. But
you know what I mean, though. I mean, but no one could believe it that Man United were getting spanked by this Liverpool. So I was thinking, in a way, Olympiakos pulled the Liverpool's 0 wins in derbies, 0 goals in 3 or 4 derbies, 3 derbies actually, even though you have the most goals in the league, even though you have the top scorer in the league and the second most creative player in the league. It happened.
Can I just say something like unrelated, but this really made me feel sick today when I read it. It's a statement from, what is it, this Kleinheisler, this new signing of Panathinaikos this January. Kleinheisler apparently made an interview. He gave an interview to Austrian media. And the quote that's appeared in the Greek press today is that my teammates call me Skulls.
The fuck?
My teammates call me Skulls.
Ah, okay.
Interesting.
Man, like if he's Paul Scholes, I'm Ronaldo Nazario. Like, what? Like, and then sorry, just to contextualize this within our chat here. Where's the comment that I found? A lovely comment.
Costa, are you sure they call him Skulls?
Panathinaikos are a mediocre team.
Really? Are you sure that's not more of a Romford Pele thing? Maybe the translation got it wrong.
Malaga, this guy spoke to Austrian media and said that his teammates call him Skulls.
Well,
okay.
That it says everything to me about Panathinaikos. They call this guy Skulls.
Is it because he looks like him? I mean, he is pretty.
I don't care. Skulls is one of the best midfielders to ever play the game for me. You can't. No. You can't do that. It's so wrong. It says everything to me about Panathinaikos being a fucking mediocre team. This nothing player, they call him Paul Scholes. Anyway, sorry, that was my little rant to end up.
It must be his image. It must be his image. I kind of see the face. Doesn't
matter, Costa. Oh my God.
All right, boys and girls. I think it's about that time. We've been going over an hour, almost an hour and 20 minutes here. It's been one of a longer episode, but not without reason. It was a good time. We're all in good spirits, of course. So never a bad thing as far as that's concerned. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to get off your chest real quick before we go ahead and close up?
When's the draw for the playoffs?
Wednesday.
Are they going to be? Maybe they're going to need to do a bit of cooking now. Maybe we're going to need to do a bit of cooking to make sure that the way that the games go is favourable. Oh no, sorry, that doesn't happen in Greek football.
Costa, there's no chance we're getting Volos or Aris at Karaiskaki for our first game without Huang and Villa and PL. There's no chance. They're going to put us at Tuba or Pap, definitely, or maybe Leoforos, definitely. But I gotta say, guys, like AEK, I mean, this is huge for AEK. They need to bounce back. They need to find a way to bounce back because losing her undefeated streak. Look at Ronda Rousey. That ended her. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting because this is it. AEK have been hurt. AEK are hurt. They're wounded, and it's only derbies now. Only derbies, pretty much.
I don't care if they find their form back or not. I hope it ruins.
I'm talking about Olympiacos, but this is amazing. This is perfect.
I love it
right there.
I love this. Yes. Well, maybe we should put on the same day as the Oscars. See how many we pull away. I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, thank you again for listening, especially if you made it this far. Love having happy episodes like this where we're not sitting here wondering why it is we can't win a damn derby. We did it. Doesn't matter if the game was ugly. Maybe we weren't the better team on the pitch, as it were, but we got the job done, and that's what matters. So thank you all for tuning in. We want to wish the best of luck. The volleyball team is playing in the finals against Maccabi Tel Aviv, European finals. I believe our women's basketball team also has made it to the finals for the Greek women's top flight, the top league in the playoffs. So good for them. Congratulations. And we're going to be rooting and supporting all of them. I think that is everything for the other sports. Basketball has games coming up this week as well. EuroLeague. I never check the schedule. I just see when I get the alert that there's a game and then I pull it up and watch. So check out basketball. Even if you're not a basketball fan, I'm not. And it's so much fun to watch. The team they move the ball so well. It's really, really fun to watch them. So you guys should check it out. Again, thank you guys.
If you're not getting any sex, it's the closest thing you'll get to it.
You went sex tonight. What's wrong with you? Anyway.
This is Gate 7 International. This is Gate 7 International. By the fans, for the fans. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.